Everyone thinks the most expensive liquid on earth is vintage champagne or Chanel No. 5. It's not. It's printer ink. And right now, airlines are forcing you to chug gallons of the stuff just to get on a plane. You've seen the headlines. Ryanair charging $68 just to print a piece of paper at the airport. Spirit Airlines hitting you with a $10 agent fee if you dare to ask a human being for a boarding pass. But here is the trap. You think you're smart. You think, I'll just print it at home and beat the system. I need you to stop right there. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you book every single flight from now on. I've spent 15 years inside the aviation industry, analyzing the razor-thin margins that keep these massive metal birds in the sky. I've sat in the boardrooms where they decide exactly how much discomfort you will tolerate to save $20. And I can tell you, the paper boarding pass fee isn't just about the $68 they catch you with at the gate. It's about a massive, invisible shift of cost from their balance sheet to your wallet. Stick with me, because this gets expensive fast. Let's rewind. 10 years ago, a boarding pass was part of the service. You paid for a ticket, and the airline provided the proof of purchase. Simple. Today, that piece of paper is a penalty product. Airlines like Frontier, Wizz Air, and Ryanair have realized something crucial. They can't legally charge you to use the bathroom yet, but they can charge you for the permission to board. So they created a fork in the road. Path A, use their app. We'll talk about the data mining nightmare of that in a minute. Path B, print it yourself. This is where the home printing tax kicks in. Have you tried to print a boarding pass lately? First, you have to actually own a printer in 2025. That's a $100 machine that gathers dust for 11 months of the year. Then, you need ink. HP and Canon have locked down their cartridges so tight that black ink literally costs more per ounce than human blood. I'm not joking. So, to save the $60 airport fee, you are maintaining a home office infrastructure that costs you hundreds a year. You are effectively working for the airline. You are their check-in agent. You are their IT department. You are paying for the paper, the ink, and the electricity to do the job that used to be included in your airfare. But it gets worse. Let's say you do everything right. You buy the printer. You buy the ink. You print the pass at home. You get to the airport, feeling smug. You walk up to the gate of a strict budget carrier. I won't name names, but you know the orange and blue ones I'm talking about. The gate agent looks at your paper. They squint. This barcode is smudged. This paper is A4, we require letter. The toner is low, the scanner can't read this. Guess what happens next? They reject your home printout. And because you are now standing at the gate, 5 minutes before boarding, you have no leverage. You pay the $68 anyway. You paid to print it at home, and you paid to print it at the airport. You paid twice. This isn't an accident. This is design. Airlines know that home printers are unreliable. They know that if they set the scanning sensitivity high enough, a 5% fade in your black ink is enough to force a reissue fee. It is the perfect revenue trap. And if you think, fine, Kaka, I'll just use the mobile app and avoid paper entirely, oh boy. You are walking right into the biggest trap of them all. Because when you rely 100% on that digital pass, you aren't just saving paper. You are gambling with something much more valuable than ink. I'm talking about the digital ransom. You land in a foreign country. Your phone battery is at 4%. The airport Wi-Fi requires a text message verification code, which you can't receive because you don't have service yet. You are now stranded at customs with no proof of return travel. The officer looks at you. You look at your dead phone. Do you know what that silence costs you? I'm going to show you exactly how the digital-only push is actually a ploy to sell you expensive roaming packages and priority boarding add-ons you didn't think you needed. But first, you need to understand the new check-in window scam that makes printing at home almost impossible for basic economy passengers. Here is the squeeze. Airlines used to let you check in days, sometimes weeks, in advance. You had plenty of time to find a printer, check your ink levels, and get your paperwork sorted. Not anymore. If you buy the cheapest basic economy or saver fare, the airline now deliberately shrinks your check-in window. Ryanair, for example, slashed the check-in window for non-paying passengers down to just 24 hours before departure. Think about the logistics of that. 24 hours before your flight, you are usually busy. You're packing. You're wrapping up work. You're stressed. But the real killer is the return leg. This is where they catch 90% of people. You are on vacation. You are in a hotel in Cabo or an Airbnb in Paris. You don't have a printer in your backpack. The window opens 24 hours before you fly back. You receive the notification while you're at the beach. You have no way to print that pass. So, you panic. You start hunting for a business center in your hotel, which charges $5 a page. Or you hunt for an internet cafe like it's 1999. Or, you surrender. You say, I'll just pay for a seat assignment. And that is the paper boarding pass fee in disguise. See, if you pay for a seat, usually $20 to $40, the airline suddenly unlocks check-in 60 days in advance. They hold the ability to print your own pass hostage behind a seat selection fee. They know you don't actually care about sitting in seat 14B versus 15B. They know you are paying that $20 strictly for the peace of mind of having your boarding pass sorted before you leave your house. So, the free option of printing at home actually costs you $20 in seat fees, or it costs you the anxiety of hunting for a printer in a foreign city. It is a psychological game of chicken. And they are winning. But let's say you refuse to play. You rely solely on the app. I don't need paper, you say. I'm digital. Let me tell you about the system outage tax. I was tracking a major budget carrier outage just last month. Their app went down for 4 hours on a Tuesday morning. Thousands of passengers were standing in line at TSA. They opened their apps to pull up the QR code. The app spun and spun and crashed. Network error. Suddenly, you have hundreds of people rushing back to the check-in counter, begging for a printed pass because the digital system failed. And do you know what the airline said? That will be $20 for a reprint, please. I wish I was making this up. In many cases, unless the airline issues a widespread waiver, which they rarely do instantly, the agents on the ground are instructed to collect the fee. Their systems show you didn't check in properly. You have to pay the fee to make your flight, and then spend 3 months fighting with a chatbot to get a refund. Most people just give up. That is millions of dollars in free revenue for the airlines, generated purely by their own tech incompetence. We have reached a point where paper is a luxury product. And the reason they are doing this isn't just to be mean. It is survival. I've looked at the quarterly earnings of these ultra-low-cost carriers. They do not make money on the ticket. If they sell you a flight for $39, they are often losing money on the fuel and crew costs for that seat. They only become profitable when you make a mistake. They are banking on you forgetting to print. They are budgeting for you to have a dead battery. They need you to fail. Your failure is their margin. But there is a way to beat them. There is a specific workflow, a combination of digital backups and a loophole printing method that costs $0 and bulletproofs you against these fees, no matter where you are in the world. It involves a file format you are probably ignoring, and a consumer right that the Department of Transportation protects, but airlines hide in the fine print. If you are currently relying on screenshots or just the airline app, you are walking on thin ice. I'm going to show you the bulletproof boarding strategy that I use to never pay a cent in fees, even on the strictest airlines in the world. Here is the bulletproof boarding strategy. It relies on 3 layers of redundancy. If you do this, you become untouchable. Layer 1. The native PDF save. Most people check in on the app and stop there. That is a rookie mistake. When you check in, there is almost always a tiny button that says View Full Document or Print Boarding Pass. You click that. It opens a PDF. Do not print it yet. Save it to your files. Why? Because the PDF is a static document. It is a time-stamped legal receipt. If the airline's app crashes, or their system claims you never checked in, that PDF has the metadata proving exactly when you generated the boarding pass. I have used this twice to waive a reprint fee. I showed the agent the timestamped file on my phone and said, I checked in yesterday at 4:00 p.m. Your system outage is not my financial liability. They waived the fee both times. Without that file, it's your word against their computer, and the computer always wins. Layer 2. The offline wallet hardlock. Screenshots are dangerous. If you screenshot a QR code, sometimes the resolution drops, or your screen brightness auto-dims at the gate, and the scanner can't read it. You must push the pass to your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet immediately. Here is the technical reason why. These wallet apps artificially force your screen to 100% brightness when the pass is open. They are optimized for the high-frequency scanners airlines use. Plus, they cache the data locally. You can be in a concrete bunker with zero signal, and that pass will load. The Airline app? It usually tries to refresh right when you're next in line, finds no signal, and errors out. Layer 3. The concierge loophole. Let's say you are paranoid, like me, and you still want that paper backup for the return flight from your vacation. Do not use the hotel business center. Walk up to the front desk when you are checking out. Smile. And say this exact phrase. I have a document that needs to be printed for my flight. Can I email it to you to print? In 15 years of travel, I have never, not once, had a hotel receptionist say no. They will print your one-page PDF for free. It costs them 1 cent, and it buys them your goodwill. You just saved the $5 business center fee and the $60 airline penalty in 30 seconds. The bottom line. The paper boarding pass fee isn't really about paper. It's a tax on the unprepared. Airlines like Frontier and Ryanair are betting on your chaos. They are betting that you are disorganized, distracted, or too trusting of their glitchy technology. They have built a business model where your mistake is their profit. But now, you know the game. You know that the ink is a trap. You know the check-in window is a squeeze. And you know that the PDF is your shield. Don't give them the satisfaction. And more importantly, don't give them your $68. If you want to know which airlines are secretly planning to start charging for carry-on bags that go under the seat, yeah, that's coming next. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm Kaka, this is Cost Kaka, and I'll see you in the next one.